If you're wondering where that smell of salt air is coming from, it's because we're in Potluck Cove, a lovely seaside town on the coast here. And it reminds me a lot of Cabot Cove. Are you familiar with Cabot Cove? It's a town in a show with Angela Lansbury called Murder, She Wrote, from back in the 80s. I don't know if you've ever seen the show. It's a fun show. I bet you could find it streaming somewhere if you haven't seen it. But Cabot Cove is supposed to be a town in Maine. The interesting thing that a friend told me years ago was that it wasn't filmed in Maine at all. It was filmed in California, in Mendocino, in Northern California. And for those of you not familiar with U.S. geography, these places, Mendocino, California, and what's supposed to be Lincoln County in Maine, could not be farther apart on the continent. And I would say, we're talking like close to 3,000 miles here. Or in kilometers, a lot of kilometers. Let me try to do the math here. 4,800 kilometers? Okay, check to see if I'm right. I'm going to say 4,800 kilometers for those of you who work in metric system. So these are places really far apart. But, frankly, they do kind of look similar. So I get why that made sense to film in California, even though it was supposed to be in Maine. I thought I'd take a trip to Potluck Cove today because it's a place I really feel connected to. And worksheet 43, which is what today's episode is about, is also about feeling that connection. So stick around and find out more on today's episode of Life's Potluck Buffet. I'm John Paulas. Thanks for listening today. I'm so glad you could join me. Oh, another fun thing? There's this, and maybe some of you are familiar with this, there's a song, a reggae song called Murder, She Wrote. Very catchy tune. From back in the 90s, early 90s. And it's a song by Shaka Demus and Pliers. And hello to everybody in Kingston. What's really interesting that I really think shows Angela Lansbury making people's days, at least it made my day, is on a Canadian radio show from a few years back. The host of the show, Tom Power, I believe was his name, plays a little bit of Murder, She Wrote by Shaka Demus and Pliers for Angela Lansbury and says, "Have you ever heard this song?" And she listens and she's very, says she feels really proud to be featured, to have Murder, She Wrote be featured in a reggae song, and she's really excited about it. I thought that was really great. I'm going to put a link in. I'm going to put a link in the description so you could hear that interview. It's towards the end is where she talks about the reggae song Murder, She Wrote. I was wondering, did Angela Lansbury ever hear Murder, She Wrote, the reggae song? And it turns out she did. So if you were asking that question yourself, there's your answer. Okay, let's go to worksheet 43. Find your people. So worksheet 43's instructions say, write about or draw 4 spaces where you felt like you truly connected with people. And the point of all of this is really to explore spaces where you feel truly connected so that you have a clearer sense and clarity on where your work needs to be going forward. So let's start this. All right, or draw 4 spaces. So first I have to choose a pen color. And I will choose, let's see here. I will choose, for the first one, I will choose magenta. And I also need to choose the pen. Okay. So let's see. What space am I thinking about? The first space. Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. I went to a really great event in the conference space of a casino. And I'm going to draw that building to the best of my memory. Oh, look, I'm going to draw one of those little things that covers where cabs and cars come in. Yeah, a little overhang there. Oh, I'm going to have to use foreshortening. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. Done better before. Let's see. All right. Okay. So there's the casino. And, let me draw a little bit more. Draw a little bit, make it a little bit more like it actually has doors and windows. Okay. And so this was one of those places where I ran into people who I knew and didn't expect to see them. That's how you know you're in a place where you feel truly connected. That's one way of knowing, is if people you know from other spaces show up and you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't expect to see you here. And they say, well, I didn't expect to see you here either. And you're happy to see each other. And, that's one way of telling you're in a space where you're really connected with people because you didn't expect them to be there and they're there. That's something to look out for. And my casino symbolizes that. The second place was actually a really good event that happened in the main branch of a public library. And I'm going to draw a library-like building. I'm drawing some columns. And you're just going to have to take it for granted that this is a library. Oh, if I did anything, I'd draw lots of stairs. Libraries, especially main library buildings, I feel like always have a lot of stairs. So there's a lot of stairs. Okay, this isn't bad at all, honestly. Okay, I'm starting to like that. Okay, so let's say this main library branch, and again, this is one where we had breakout groups, and I didn't know any of the people there, more or less. There were, maybe there's one or two people who I knew before, but in the breakout group that I was part of, I didn't know any of the people in that group, and we just had an excellent conversation about work and life and so forth, and that was really awesome. I really felt truly connected to the people there. All right. What is my third space? My third space is going to be, all right, this is another building that is a career center and career development center with technical training facilities and everything like that. And I was part of a program that was involved with this center is where it was held. And so I'm going to draw that if I can. I'm going to draw the career training areas here. Yeah, there's one. I don't know what that was supposed to be a car lift, but it ended up being more like half of Stonehenge, but that's okay. So, and here's this building, and I'll do a little cutout here. Okay. And that building, for sure, I felt really good seeing all that different equipment that people used to train to be, dentists or mechanics. I really felt strongly connected to that building and to the people in it and the work that we did together there. And I still am connected to the people from that experience. So that's a good one. Oh, and notice that was the third thing. Remember, the most important thing is often the third thing. And I feel like this is really true in this case. This is the third thing, and that was a really important experience for me. I felt really, maybe most connected with the people connected to that experience. Okay, finally, last but not least, I'm going to do my fourth space, and this space is actually going to be a digital space. Ooh. And I'm going to draw a laptop once again. Okay. Did a laptop in one of the earlier episodes. This time I'm going to try to make the keyboard look a little bit, I don't know what that piece is there, but that's okay. I'm going to make the keyboard look a little bit, I don't know, better, I think. It's tough. I can't draw in all the keys, obviously. And I always like to do the space bar because I feel like that says this is a keyboard. I don't know why. That says that to me. Okay, well, I'll just leave it at that. So the space that I'm thinking of here is on a couple of monthly calls with two different communities that I'm involved in, that every time I do them, I really feel so connected to the people and what we're doing together and what we're working on together, whether it's for business or whether it's for civic engagement. Both of those online meetings make me feel really, truly connected with the people who I'm working with in those spaces. So there are my 4 spaces. What are your 4 spaces? Give Worksheet 43 a try and let us know. If you want to get a copy of Worksheet 43, head on over to lifespotluck.com/worksheets, and you can sign up and then sign in and download all of the worksheets that you'd like. And if you enjoyed this episode, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, I so greatly appreciate it. Thank you. And I'll see you next time on Life's Potluck Buffet. Oh, what a coincidence. This is that cafe where they are always playing reggae music. I'm going to go inside. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.